Springfield. I'm Dominique, and you are watching Behind the Scene. And tonight we are behind the scene with Timmy Miano. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Glad I could be here. Thanks.
So let's start off with, what do you do in the music industry?
Oh, I've done all sorts of stuff. Currently, I'm just a solo guitar playing, novelty acoustic, indie, folk punk guy. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I've been focusing all my attention on, is just writing songs and trying to get as much original music out as possible. But in the past, I've been a bass player or a drummer, jazz bands, grindcore bands, rock bands. I tried to run a record label for a while. That didn't work out too well.
That can be hard.
Yeah, I've been all over the place, but right now I'm trying to focus on just one thing, which is the novelty acoustic songwriting.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
So where do you play around town right now?
Right now I'm pretty much solely at Ruthie's. In a non-COVID world, I would be booking more short gigs. My favorite thing to do is play 30 minutes of ridiculousness, opening for in the middle of a bunch of hardcore acts. So I've been playing punk shows for the past 20 years in Springfield, and that's my bread and butter, as far as not making money bread and butter, but what feeds my soul.
Right.
But Joe Pepe over at Ruthie's is a long time friend and big fan. So he just lets me go up there and set up shop and do whatever I want for 2.5 hours. And that's where I've been lately, and will continue to be as long as the law allows.
Yeah, like a lot of musicians out there.
Yeah.
So so this clip that we're going to see here in just a moment, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I wanted to put my best novelty foot forward first, and so this is a parody I wrote around the beginning of the COVID times of Nathaniel Ratcliffe's Son of a Bitch, called Son of a Bleach.
Nice.
And it's on my Facebook page. You can find it there if you need to,
Okay.
for any reason at all after this.
Okay, well, let's get to that song right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna need someone to Skype with. I'm gonna need to scrub my hands. I'm gonna need something to kill time. I'm gonna need some good sweatpants. I'm gonna rinse and shake my hands dry. I'll stop touching my face and hair. I'm gonna cover my mouth with mask made from a shoe, and I really couldn't give a damn. Son of a bitch, give me some bleach, Clorox wipes, some Purell please. Son of a bitch, I can't get clean. I'm gonna stay in bed all day. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now for 17 days I've been locked up at home. 17 more I might be free, but I'm almost out of Clorox wipes. Somebody give me some goddamn bleach. Son of a bitch, give me some bleach, Clorox wipes, some Purell please. Son of a bitch, I can't get clean. I'm gonna stay in bed all day. Whoa, whoa. My heart is aching, hands are shaking, bugs crawling all over me. My heart is aching, hands are shaking, bugs crawling all over me. My heart was aching, hands were shaking, bugs crawling all over me. My heart was aching, hands were shaking, bugs crawling all over me. Son of a bitch, give me some bleach, some Clorox wipes, clean. I'm gonna drink my life away. Whoa, 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 whoa,
Okay, we're back. That was awesome. So
Thanks.
tell me a little bit about the song. I mean, how did you come up with the song?
Well, I mean, like all inspiration, it just kind of came to me and I shouted it out and started laughing myself to death. And so whenever anything happens like that, I just pull out whatever writing utensil I have around or my Evernote app on my phone or anything I can. There's always something around to write on in my house. And I just started going to town on the lyrics and decided that maybe the world needed to hear it. I usually don't do parodies. Not you know, just not something I do. It's a different kind of gig.
Uh-huh.
I thought this time it was pretty appropriate, especially given what was on everybody's mind.
Right.
And the past couple of weeks before that, I'd written a song about needing a bidet and bleaching my bread and bleaching my bleach at the same time.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. So, well, let's get to, how do you go about creating songs? What kind of advice can you give to other songwriters that are maybe having a block?
I go through blocks all the time. Most of the songs I write take me 3 or 4 years to finish before I'm actually happy with it. So my advice is to just keep pushing. And the second you hit a block, go write a new song. Go try something different, and never forget where you were at. You can always bounce back and forth. I know some people hit it to the grindstone and they work till that song's done, go to the next one. I've just got notebooks and apps. I've got a Google document that's as long as I've been in Springfield. So since 1998, I've been running the same document from Microsoft Word to Linux computer to Google that just has a running tab of my lyrics. And if I get a song idea, I go write it down. I might not come back to it for 15 years. But
Wow. So what's one song that you wrote when you were a kid and didn't bring back out until now? Do you have anything?
Oh yeah, actually, I mean the one of the first songs I ever wrote, to kind of answer your question, the song called Piece of Pie, I wrote it when I was 19 years old. And it's just about how it's kind of my philosophy song. It's a good opener when I play a set because I can, let people know, hey, this is what I'm about. And I love life and philosophy and science and talking about spiritual stuff, but also we're going to get into food pretty hardcore. So it's about how I'd like a piece of pie before I die. And there have been times where I just kind of shelved it and didn't play it for a couple of years and brought it back. And it's a song that's just kind of evergreen. So I can play it whenever I want, and as long as I have a comfortable relationship with food, which I do, it's always going to be relevant.
So being a guitar player, how long have you been playing guitar? And
I guess I started playing guitar when I was 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. I got my first bass guitar for my 13th birthday, and my dad was going to give me a guitar, but my older brother already played guitar, and he decided he wanted a bass player in the family. So I would learn guitar while listening to my brother play, but then I was supposed to be practicing bass. Yeah, and so naturally my home instrument is the bass guitar. Oh. But the acoustic I picked up because it's just it was where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anybody, choosing guitars and bass guitars?
And choosing guitar? Oh man, I'm the wrong person to ask that question. Here, this
Does
guitar.
It sound good?
This guitar is named Dean. It's a Dean, and I bought it because it's pretty.
Ah.
I saw it and I thought, hey, there's a pretty guitar. I'll buy that. It's how I base all of my decisions in life.
I like it.
I mean, I picked it up. I played with it. It felt good. Uh-huh. Before that, I worked at a music factory in St. Louis, And my friend's dad was the boss, and when I was leaving for college, he just said, hey, you know, go through here, pick anything you want, $250. And so I could have gotten top of the line Alvarez's and Diodario's or whatever. I don't know anything about that. I said, I want that red one. And that was my guitar until it broke, and now I have Dean.
Ah, well, nice.
Yeah.
Do you name all your guitars?
No, it just happens to have a name, which is one of my favorite guitar players, Dean Ween. So
Nice.
I named it after him. And also it came with a name. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any advice for people trying to start a band?
Trying to start a band?
Especially for this area, you know, because there's a variety of music out here. Do you think it's harder for some genres other than others for Springfield?
You know, it kind of just depends on who you know. Back when I was floating around the Outland all the time and going to open mic nights and going to see every concert, it was really easy to just pluck somebody up and say, hey, I've got some ideas. Do you want to come back and help me work out some songs? Because I don't jam. That's not I don't love jamming. So I would never say, do you want to jam? But some people say jam, and that's fine. They can jam all they want. But I would like, you know, you want to come back and work on some stuff, and then we would come up with some visions and decide what we were going to do from there. So it really just, you know, being in a band is a lot like, I mean, that's how I make all my best friendships in the world, is by people I've been in bands with. So you just have to get out there and meet people. Sometimes it involves, you know, just throwing some flyers up and saying, hey, I need a drummer, and you better not be a giant douchebag. So you come across those, but you know.
Now, about the genres, do you think, you know, because I know there's a lot of people that are trying to start punk bands. Do you feel that that's still something that people are going out to see?
I think so. I think, and I hate to quote Lars Ulrich here, but I read something by him a long time ago that was just, as long as there's angry kids with an axe to grind and a garage to play in, there's going to be punk rock. And I think, I mean, that's more true now than ever. Like, we've got some great bands. I've been obsessed with the Reach Arounds lately from Springfield. And there's so much good punk music because we have so many angry people.
Yeah, especially right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and everybody wants to say something, and there's no really great way to put it out there. But if you can put a blazingly fast punk track behind it, you're good to go. So yeah. I think it's just, you know, it's a lot harder to find somebody who wants to be in a niche genre band. Like if you wanted to be in an Arctic Monkeys style dance rock disco band, or like a giant funk review, you'd have to be Rand Cummings to be able to pull that together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get to your next clip. Tell me a little bit about this song that we are about to see.
The next song, and I don't have my chat up, so I don't know what it is. What did I say? Oh, the next song, this is another one that, you know, I just turned 40 this year. The song's called the Unbearable Lightness of Binging. And it's a kind of a sadder song about just how much stuff I need to fill the holes in my life. But it's, you know, it's based on that, and also my experiences trying to date as a 40-year-old, because I've met so many people who were 10 years younger than me and more, who we got along really well because we had the same goals, but they kind of had their lives together a little more than me.
Right.
And so I wanted to pay homage to them as well, and just all, you know, all the people that I meet. You know, when you're in music, you meet everybody, and so I've met a lot of younger people who just blow my mind. Mm-hmm. And so this is a song about that, and also about how one night I just pounded half a box of wine, and I thought, you know, this box of wine's gonna go bad. I should finish the next half. And that's where the song starts.
Awesome. Okay, so let's get to that, and we will be right back.
Alone, but
we are back. That was a great song as well. Loved it. So now let's talk about, getting into a venue. How do you go about booking your shows?
Booking shows has always been, that was like my favorite part when I first started. When I was doing it in St. Louis, it was so hard. The competition there was just insane, and nobody ever wanted to share their stage time with you. So you had to play open mic nights, and you had to get to know people, and I had a couple of ins, luckily, so we got a couple of pretty good shows when I was growing up. When I came to Springfield, there were so many venues. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it's not the case anymore, but I used to just walk around every Tuesday. I would go from bar to bar asking what they had available that month. And you just hand somebody a CD, and there you are. I'm not sure right now. It's kind of, I just do it based on relationships that I've built. So, some of my best shows in the past 5 or 10 years have come from Jimmy over at the Outland at the Ballroom, just because he knows me so well and he knows my songs. He would call me and say, "Hey, we got this band coming to town. They do a comedy thing. You'd be a perfect fit." Mm-hmm. And so I have no idea what I did to impress him, but
you were always out there, just kind of networking and getting your name out there.
Yeah, I always treated that part very much like a business. So I had a notebook full of contact names, and I still have, like my song list. I've got my contact list that goes back 20, 25 years of everybody I've ever worked with, from, coffee shops and little clubs outside of Springfield, all the way to like venues in Idaho that I wanted to get shows at, or in Las Vegas and places like that. So
how much would you think is fair for a solo musician when they're asking for their pay?
Again, I'm the wrong guy, because I just love being up there so much that I've never demanded money. I appreciate the money. I like getting it, but I've got my whole life I've had a full-time day job, and so it's never been like a starving artist situation for me. So in my boat, I can make some money off of merch sales when I have merch, and that always helps. What kind of merch do you
usually have?
I like doing just the t-shirts, CDs, or stickers. It's been a while since I've done that run, just because, again, like I need to have a reason to invest the money, and lately I've just been doing it for fun. So I currently don't have any t-shirts, but I will have some soon, because I'm kind of getting inspired again to do that.
So what about, like, when you're at a venue, mm-hmm. what would you consider, proper etiquette as a musician? Or do you have stories of knowing other musicians just totally just making a fool of themselves because they didn't have, proper etiquette?
That's a good question. I guess I've been accused of having some sort of personality and charm, and so I just walk in and be myself relentlessly, and people seem to be okay with that. I mostly keep to myself, though. I'll be in the back charging my phone or playing Scrabble or something. So I kind of stay out of people's hair, so nobody gets to know if I'm a diva or not until we've been working together for a long time. So I would just say, treat it like you would anybody else. You want to gain respect. You have to pay respect, because otherwise you're gonna. But that might work. Again, I'm not a bombastic person. That might work the other way. There might be people who are like, "Oh, he's such a jerk. We're gonna have him back a million times." I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of pet peeves do you have when it comes to like other venues? How you treat musicians, or maybe pet peeves vice versa?
Pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve, because I have a bunch. My biggest pet peeve is probably people who are really into the gear heads, and the people who really take the craft seriously. I love that, and I honor that, and I'll listen to you talk about it forever. But if you ask me what kind of pickups I'm using and I say I don't know, the look of consternation on their faces and then all of a sudden I'm getting preached at for why I don't take better care of my strings and my pick guards and stuff. That's my biggest, is just let me feel welcome while we're talking about this stuff. I'm not going to know mixolydian scales from, you know, fish scales, so it's not part of my vocabulary. And so I just, that's the biggest pet peeve. The other one is when, you know, you get charged for beer at a club.
Right.
If you're playing for beer, you know there's not going to be a turnout. It's a Tuesday night at a place that doesn't have a Tuesday draw.
Right. They
don't charge me
expected
$1.50 for a PBR.
Yeah,
know?
they expected you to bring out everybody out on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, like nobody wants to do anything on Tuesdays. We're all here on the chance that somebody might walk in with a big party.
Right.
So I did my best for a month ahead of time, putting up flyers and talking to people. I put some work into. So the least we could do is come to an arrangement where I don't have to pay for my first 6 to 25 beers.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm your entertainment for the night. Otherwise, you'd be sitting here with your jukebox on.
Yeah. Because what I do, you know, it's different with the band. If I had a band, I'd have other things to say. But when it's just me, I could be doing the same thing at my house and having just as much fun alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like hanging out. And that's why I play Ruthie so much, because me and Joe get along. Not because he buys me beers, but because I love being in his presence.
Right.
You know.
Speaking of playing at home alone, I see Queen City Shout posted behind you. Were you in this past Queen City Shout?
Yeah, it was. I did the virtual Queen City Shout.
And how long have you done other Queen City Shouts?
Yeah, this was my 3rd year in a row doing it. I know they've been doing Queen City Shouts for 10 years, and I think according to Eddie, I might have played another one before, but I used to just book everything, so I don't really remember what events I was part of. But yeah, the last couple of years have been really good. I love paying back to the community in any way that I can, and if I can get people to show up and donate a couple of dollars just because they want to see some silly music for a while, then I'm on board for your charity events all year round. Yeah.
So how did you like this version of, you know, the Queen City Shout versus the other ones?
I thought it was fun. It was really accessible. And, you know, I like that all the live feeds stayed up, so you didn't have to split your attention all the time. You know, last year, there were so many bands I wanted to see. I had to draw a map for the day that I was playing to get me from the start of it all the way down to me playing, you know, being at this stage at this time. And, you know, I'll see the D-Fine lines over here, and then Gen X or Gen JX over here, and then just back and forth. And, you know, 83 Skidoo was playing. The first 2 years I played, they played right next to me, and I couldn't see them, and they're one of my favorite bands.
Oh,
so
that's a bummer.
So this year I got to see everybody that was doing the virtual stuff whenever I wanted to, and I thought it was good.
Did you participate in his the quarantine open mic?
Yeah, I did a couple of those.
That's...
I thought that was great. I don't know if I haven't gotten any notifications, but I would love to see that pick back up. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I think when I was talking to Eddie, it's just a lot on, you know, to do to coordinate and stuff. But that was really, really cool. You know, it got a lot of us through, you know, that time.
Yeah. And I got to learn about a lot of musicians that I never would have heard.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've just got a busy schedule. I don't get out much. And so I don't get a chance to go see all these people, but then I could just pop on the next morning and see their shows, you know. So
yeah,
I think it's great. Anything we can do to promote local music in the city. There's so many great voices that I just want to be a part of helping as much as I can. Like, I don't have much to gain for it anymore. I'm a boring old guy. So
do it for fun.
Yeah, I do it for fun. But if anybody else needs to get a leg up, I'm happy to help any way I can. If that means smushing like or share on their videos, I just think that's the least you can do to help an artist out. Yeah.
Right.
And Queen City Shout did a great job at that.
So is there anything that I have not touched on, anything, other advice that you may be able to give, or any projects you have coming up?
Well, things you haven't touched on. I mean, this is my first interview in a while where the word genius wasn't bandied around so much. But no, that's not true. Why aren't you a genius is the question. No, just advice for, I've always just kind of done what I wanted. And I've been met with a lot of people saying, you know, you're good enough to be in a wedding cover band. You could be making money doing this. Why aren't you playing Eagles songs? You know, like, why, if you can drum, you should be drumming. There's so many people that need a drummer. Why don't you go buy a drum set and do your thing? We should play more solos and more cover songs. And I'm just staunchly against that. So if you're that kind of person out there and you want to make music, but you're afraid your voice isn't going to get heard, you're looking at an uphill battle. It's going to take a little while longer to get your feet on the ground and get those gigs versus being accessible. But when you do, you get some fans that would kill for you. I mean, if I needed a street team right now to go out and plaster a city, I could have it done because I've got so many amazing friends, and they feel like family members to me now. Just because of doing what I want. Like if you have a unique voice and somebody else has a unique life that fits that voice, that's going to click a lot more than it's fun and dancy and I can bug out to it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, stick to your guns.
So where can people find you on the interwebs?
My Facebook page is my most active place. If you go to timmymiano.com right now, it redirects you to it. So the easiest thing to do is go to timmymiano.com. Eventually, it's going to be a web page. I'm a developer. I do my own web pages and stuff like that. And so eventually, it'll grow into a real web page again. So timmymiano.com. And I've got links to my YouTube pages on there. I've got videos going back. Oh, I just said Google, and Google said hi.
Google said hi.
I have my phone on mute. But yeah, I've just got videos going back to 2008, I think, on my YouTube page with the full band, with just me, a couple iterations of the bands. But TimmyMiano.com. Listen to me on Spotify. I've got albums as Timmy Miano and also Angry Panda, which was my previous solo stuff.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So we're going to have your last song take us out. But tell us a little bit about this last one.
Like I mentioned, this is the full band. So this is Corey King on bass and Robert Bailey of the Springfield Famous on drums. And this song is called Thank God for Science. It's my tribute to the technology that is bringing this interview to us today. Awesome. That I wrote in 2006.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is another one that just kept growing and growing, and now the way it's turned out is a lot better than the way it started. So
awesome.
I hope everybody likes it.
I want to thank you again for being on Behind the Scene, and hope to have you back. And we definitely need to check you out there at Ruthie's. And what day? Yeah. What day and what time again?
The last Tuesdays of every month, including next Tuesday, which is the 24th, maybe.
24th.
Yeah, it's for 7 days from now. That makes sense. So yeah, next Tuesday, and then the Tuesday before New Year's, awesome. I should be up there.
Well, thank you so much again. And so we're gonna have his last song take us out. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm watching you smile on a 7-inch screen. I can see you and you can see me. You're a little bit fuzzy and there's kind of a lag. But I'm pretty sure I saw some tube in your bed. chance that I get. Keeping up with you is sapping my energy. Being in love with you is a drain on my batteries. Your wind is large. I need to recharge. Before I die, I got to recharge. Hooray for technology. Thank God for science. Connecting humanity. Servers and clients. I remember when we had to wait on Netscape at 28. JPS, JPS, JPS. Kilobytes per second, Jake. Kilobytes per second. It's a thing we used to measure things in.